Hey there, have you ever woken up in the morning feeling like your get up and go just didn't show up? Maybe you're dragging a little more than you used to, or you've noticed that keeping up with the grandkids, or even the daily chores, feels tougher than it once did. Perhaps you've caught yourself pausing halfway up the stairs, wondering where that pep in your step went. If that sounds familiar, you're not alone. After 70, it's so easy to slip into a few sneaky health traps that zap your strength and leave you feeling less active than you'd like. But here's the good news. You don't have to let that happen. Staying strong and active is absolutely within your reach, and it doesn't take a complete life overhaul to make it happen. In this video, we're going to walk through 4 common health traps that so many people over 70 stumble into, often without even realizing it, and I'll show you exactly how to sidestep them so you can keep living life on your terms. Whether that's chasing after the dog, tending your garden, or just enjoying a day out with friends. Now, why does this matter? Well, think about it. When you feel strong and full of energy, everything gets easier. You can take that walk around the block without a second thought, carry those grocery bags in one trip, or spend an afternoon tinkering in the garage without feeling wiped out. It's not just about physical stuff either. It's about that sense of freedom and confidence that comes with knowing your body's got your back. But when little habits creep in that work against you, they can quietly chip away at that strength and independence you've worked so hard to hold on to. I've seen it happen with folks I know, and I bet you have too. Maybe a friend who used to be out and about all the time, now spending more days on the couch than they'd like. The good thing is, it doesn't have to be that way. So let's dive in and talk about how to avoid these traps, starting with one that might catch you off guard. It's all about what you do first thing in the morning. Picture this: you roll out of bed, maybe shuffle to the kitchen in your slippers, grab a cup of coffee, and skip breakfast because you're just not that hungry yet. Or maybe you think a piece of toast or a quick muffin is enough to get you going. Sound familiar? That's the first trap, skipping breakfast or not eating enough to fuel your day. I know, you might be thinking, I've been fine without a big breakfast for years. I don't need much in the morning. And sure, maybe that worked when you were 50 or 60, buzzing around with a faster metabolism and a busier schedule. But here's the thing. After 70, your body needs a little extra TLC to keep your energy steady and your muscles strong. When you skip that morning meal or skimp on it with something that's mostly sugar, you're basically asking your body to run on empty. And over time, that can leave you feeling weaker, more tired, and even mess with your blood sugar, making you cranky or foggy-headed by mid-morning. Ever had that moment where you're halfway through the day and suddenly feel like you hit a wall? That could be your body waving a little red flag. So, what can you do instead? Start your day with something that's got some protein in it. It's like giving your muscles a wake-up call and telling your energy levels, hey, let's stick around for a while. You don't need to whip up a gourmet feast or spend an hour in the kitchen. Something simple works wonders, like a couple of scrambled eggs with a slice of whole grain toast, or even a bowl of Greek yogurt with a handful of berries tossed in. If you're not big on cooking, try a smoothie with some spinach, a banana, and a scoop of peanut butter. It's quick and packs a punch. I've got a friend, Mary, who's 72, and she swears by her morning oatmeal with a spoonful of peanut butter stirred in. She used to just have coffee and maybe a biscuit, but she'd be starving by 10 a.m., barely able to keep up with her gardening. Now she says that oatmeal keeps her going strong until lunch, and she's still out there tending her roses every day, pulling weeds like she's 20 years younger. The key is to give your body fuel that lasts, not just a quick sugar spike that fades fast and leaves you dragging. Let me tell you about my Uncle Jim too. He's 75 and used to skip breakfast altogether because he thought it'd help him keep his weight down. But he'd end up snacking all day, feeling tired and complaining his legs felt like lead. I convinced him to try a small bowl of cottage cheese with some fruit in the morning, and he couldn't believe the difference. He's got more zip now, and he's back to his daily walks around the neighborhood, waving at everyone like he's the mayor. It's not about eating a ton, it's about eating smart. Try it for a week. Swap out that coffee-only routine for something with a little protein, and see how much steadier you feel. It's a small change, but it's one that can keep you moving and feeling good, setting the tone for the rest of your day. Now, let's shift gears a bit. Once you've got your breakfast sorted, there's another trap that sneaks up on so many of us, especially if you're someone who loves a good book, a TV show, or just relaxing in your favorite chair after that morning cup. I'm talking about sitting too long. It's so easy to settle in after breakfast, maybe catch up on the news, scroll through your phone, or chat with a friend, and before you know it, hours have gone by without much movement. I get it. Life after 70 should feel comfortable, right? You've earned the right to put your feet up. But here's the catch. Sitting for long stretches can stiffen up your joints, weaken your muscles, and even make it harder to get up and go when you want to. It's like your body starts to forget how to move if you don't remind it often enough. Ever stood up after a long sit and felt like your knees were arguing with you? That's what I mean. The fix here is simpler than you might think. No need to run a marathon or sign up for a fancy exercise class. Just sprinkle in some short bursts of movement throughout your day. Set a little reminder on your phone or watch to get up every hour or so. Take a quick walk around the living room, do a few gentle stretches by the window, or even stand up and march in place while the kettle's boiling. My neighbor Tom, who's 74, started doing this after his doctor told him his knees were getting creaky from too much sitting. He'd plop down with his crossword puzzles for hours, then groan every time he had to get up. Now he sets a timer, walks to the mailbox and back every hour, and says even 5 minutes makes him feel looser and stronger. He's back to tinkering in his garage without that old man shuffle he used to do. It's not about exhausting yourself, it's about keeping those joints and muscles happy so they're ready when you need them, whether it's a trip to the store or just dancing around the kitchen to your favorite song. So we've tackled breakfast and sitting, two traps that can really throw off your strength and energy if you're not careful. But there's more to this story, because what you eat later in the day and how you take care of your flexibility play a huge role too. Let's move on to the next one, ignoring portion sizes, and see how a little tweak there can keep you feeling light and active instead of sluggish. All right, let's keep this going. We've already talked about how skipping breakfast can leave you running on fumes and how sitting too long can stiffen you up. But now it's time to look at something that might be happening at lunch or dinner without you even noticing. It's all about portion sizes, and ignoring them can sneakily weigh you down, both literally and figuratively. You might be thinking, I've been eating the same way for years and it's fine. I know what works for me, and I totally get that. Habits stick with us, especially ones we've had since the days when we were chasing kids around or working long hours. But after 70, your body doesn't burn through food quite like it used to. Metabolism slows down a bit, and if you're piling your plate like you did in your 50s or 60s, it can lead to extra pounds that make moving around harder. Plus, eating too much in one go can leave you feeling sluggish, like you just want to nap on the couch instead of getting out there and enjoying your day. Ever finished a big meal and felt like you needed a crane to lift you out of your chair? That's what we're talking about here. So how do you avoid this trap? It's not about starving yourself or pulling out a calculator to count every calorie. Nobody's got time for that, and frankly, it's no fun. Instead, try a little trick that's so simple it almost feels like cheating. Use a smaller plate. I know, it sounds too easy to make a difference, but it works like a charm. When you fill up a smaller dish, say a salad plate instead of a big dinner one, your brain still sees a full meal, and you're less likely to overdo it without even thinking. Aim for a balance, maybe a palm-sized piece of chicken or fish, a fistful of steamed veggies, and a small scoop of rice or mashed potatoes. I knew a guy named Bill, 71 years young, who used to load up his dinner plate until he could barely see the pattern underneath. He'd sit down with a mountain of spaghetti or a giant slab of meatloaf, and by the time he was done, he'd be parked in his recliner for hours, too full to move. He switched to a smaller plate for his meals, and he told me he feels lighter on his feet now. No more afternoon food comas. He even started taking little walks after dinner, something he hadn't done in years. And here's a little bonus tip. Take your time eating. Put your fork down between bites, chat with whoever's at the table, or just savor the flavors. It gives your stomach a chance to catch up and tell your brain, hey, I'm good. Bill started doing that too, and he found he didn't even need seconds most days. If you're still hungry after 20 minutes, you can always go back for a little more. No harm done. The goal is to feel satisfied, not stuffed, so you've got the energy to keep moving instead of feeling like you're waddling around. My sister-in-law, Pat, who's 70, tried this after she noticed her jeans were getting tight. She used to heap her plate with extra helpings because she didn't want food to go to waste, but switching to a smaller plate and slowing down changed everything. She's back to her daily strolls with her dog, and she's even started dancing at family gatherings again, something she hadn't done since her knees started complaining. It's a small tweak, but it can keep you feeling light and ready for whatever's next. Speaking of moving, that brings us right into the next trap, neglecting stretching. I know stretching might sound like something for yoga buffs or athletes in spandex, but hear me out. It's not about that at all. After 70, your muscles and joints start to tighten up if you don't give them some love. Maybe you've noticed. It's harder to reach the top shelf for that jar of pickles, or bending down to tie your shoes feels like a negotiation with your back. That's your body telling you it needs a little help staying flexible. If you skip stretching altogether, you're setting yourself up for stiffness that can turn into aches, or worse, make you wobbly when you're walking around. I've seen it happen. Folks who used to stride confidently now shuffling along because their bodies got too tight, and nobody wants to feel like they're creaking like an old door every time they get up from the table. The good news? You don't need to twist yourself into a pretzel or sign up for a class to fix this. Just 5 minutes a day can make a world of difference, and you can do it right at home with no fancy equipment. Try something easy, like standing up and reaching your arms toward the ceiling, holding it for a few seconds to loosen your shoulders and feel that nice stretch down your sides. Or sit in a chair, stretch one leg out straight, and lean forward a bit to feel it in your hamstrings. Just don't push too hard. My cousin Linda, who's 73, started doing this every morning while her coffee brews. She used to say her legs felt like they were made of wood after sitting through a movie, but now she swears it's like oiling her joints. She's back to chasing her dog around the yard without feeling like she's going to snap, and she even climbed a small hill on a family hike last month, something she hadn't done in years. The trick is to keep it gentle and consistent, nothing too intense, just a little nudge to keep things limber. Let me tell you about my old neighbor Helen too. She's 77 and used to hobble around because her hips were so stiff. She'd laugh and call herself the Tin Woman. I showed her a simple stretch where you lie on your back and pull one knee toward your chest, holding it for a few seconds. She started doing it every evening while watching her shows, and within a couple of weeks, she was walking to the corner store again without that pained look on her face. She told me, "I didn't realize how much I'd locked up until I started moving again." It's not about becoming a gymnast. It's about keeping your body ready for whatever you want to do, whether it's a stroll with a friend, picking up the grandkids, or just hauling out the trash without a groan. Even standing up and rolling your shoulders back a few times can help. Try it right now if you're sitting there and feel how it wakes things up a bit. So there you have it. Portion sizes and stretching. 2 more traps that can trip you up. if you're not paying attention. Getting these right can keep you feeling light, limber, and ready to take on your day, whether you're out in the garden or just enjoying a cup of tea on the porch. But we're not done yet. There's one more piece to this puzzle that ties it all together, and it's about making sure you're not just avoiding pitfalls, but building yourself up too. Let's dive into that next and see how it can keep you strong and active for the long haul. All right, here we are, wrapping up this journey together. We've covered how skipping breakfast can drain your energy, sitting too long can stiffen you up, ignoring portion sizes can weigh you down, and neglecting stretching can leave you creaky. These little traps can sneak into your day and sap that strength and spark you want to hold on to. Maybe you've felt it yourself, that slow fade where things just don't feel as easy as they used to. But avoiding them isn't just about dodging problems. It's about building yourself up so you can keep doing the things that make life worth living, whether that's a morning walk, a game of cards with friends, or just puttering around the house without feeling worn out. And that's where we're headed now, tying it all together with a final piece that's less about a trap and more about a boost. It's not enough to just sidestep the pitfalls. You've got to give your body a little something extra to stay strong and active. So let's talk about keeping your muscles in the game. After 70, it's no secret that muscle mass starts to slip away if you don't nudge it along. Maybe you've noticed it's harder to carry those heavy bags of groceries from the car or push the lawnmower like you used to. Or perhaps you've felt a little winded after climbing a flight of stairs, wondering when that got so tough. That's not just age creeping in, it's your body asking for a bit more attention. The good news is, you don't need to hit the gym, buy a set of dumbbells, or turn into a bodybuilder to turn that around. Simple, everyday moves can keep your strength up and your energy flowing. And you can do them right where you are. No fancy setup required. Think about adding a little resistance to your routine, like lifting a couple of soup cans while you're watching your evening show, or doing a few chair squats while you wait for the microwave to ding. It's not about how much you lift, it's about keeping those muscles awake and ready. My buddy George, who's 76, is a perfect example. He started noticing he was huffing and puffing just bringing in the groceries, something he used to do without a second thought. He didn't want to lose that ability, so he started keeping a pair of lightweights by his recliner. Nothing heavy, just a couple of old cans he filled with sand. He'd lift them a few times during the commercials, maybe 10 or 15 reps, and that was it. Now he's back to hauling firewood into his shed without breaking a sweat, and he's got this proud grin every time he tells me about it. He says it's not about bulking up, it's about keeping what he's got so he can stay active without a struggle. You could try something like that too. Maybe stand up and do a few arm curls with a water bottle while you're on the phone, or sit and lift your legs straight out a few times to work your thighs. It's small, but it adds up. And here's the beauty of it. When you pair this with those other fixes we talked about, it all starts to click. A solid breakfast fuels you up with the energy to move. Getting up every hour keeps you loose. Smaller portions keep you light on your feet, and stretching keeps you flexible. Add in a little strength work, and you're not just avoiding trouble. You're setting yourself up to feel better than you have in years. Take my Aunt Rose, for instance. She's 78, and used to say she felt old every time she climbed the stairs to her bedroom. She'd grip the railing like it was a lifeline, and you could see the effort in her face. She started eating a protein-packed breakfast, walking a bit every hour, watching her portions, stretching in the morning, and doing some light arm lifts with water bottles she keeps by the sink. Now she's the one leading the charge at family picnics, carrying the cooler while the rest of us trail behind, wondering how she's got so much spunk. It's not magic. It's just small, smart choices stacking up to make her feel strong again. So, as we wind down, think about this. You don't have to overhaul your whole life to stay strong and active. Little tweaks, like a good meal to start your day, a quick walk here and there, a smaller plate, a stretch, and a bit of strength, can add up to a big difference. You're not just dodging those health traps. You're building a body that's ready for whatever you throw at it, whether it's playing with the grandkids, tending your flowers, or just enjoying a sunny afternoon on your porch swing. It's about living life the way you want, not letting it slip away because of habits you didn't even know were holding you back. I'd love to hear from you. What's one thing you're going to try after watching this? Maybe it's that morning yogurt, a quick stretch, or lifting a can or two. Drop it in the comments below. It's always inspiring to see what works for folks like you, and it might give someone else an idea too. And if you found this helpful, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps us reach more people who could use a boost like this. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button too. We've got more tips coming your way to keep you feeling great at any age. Here's to staying strong, staying active, and living your best life, because you've earned every bit of it.